Hi BookTube, it's Mickey. I'm back again with another video. This video is my 2015. I'm calling it my Project 20, even though it's technically not necessarily a Project 20 challenge. But it's 20 books from my TBR pile that I want to read in 2015, and they all fulfill a requirement for a bingo challenge that I am participating in. So I'm going to leave a link to that challenge down below. It's from the All About Books Goodreads group that I'm a part of, and I'm just going to let you know what books I plan on reading to fulfill the various requirements for that challenge. So I'm probably just going to go through really quick because I only have 20 books to talk about, and we'll just go ahead and get started. So the first square that I need to fulfill is a book with more than 500 pages. The book that I'm choosing for that is Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. The next book that I have to read is a forgotten classic. I am reading Maurice by E.M. Forster. I've only seen two people talk about this, Frenchie D and yeah, I forgot his real name, the guy with the heavy blanks. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but they both talked about this book and they both raved about it, so I'm going to use that. The next square is a book that became a movie. I'm going to be reading Ian McEwan's Atonement. I have a bunch of books that could have fulfilled that requirement, but I chose this one. The next square is a book published this year. I don't have a book that was published this year because it's only 4 days into the year. But I will probably be buying the new Toni Morrison book when it comes out, so I'll probably be using that to fulfill that requirement. The next one is a book with a number in the title, and I am doing the Number One Ladies Detective Agency by Alexander McCall Smith. It has a number 1 in it. Then it says a book written by someone under 30. I don't seem to own a book written by someone under 30, or if I do, I am not aware of this. This was based on like a really cursory glance of my bookshelf, but like I seriously don't think I own a book by someone under 30. I don't know. I have to look. But right now, I don't have a book picked out for that. So I might either be buying a book or I might have to find one later. So the next square is a book with non-human characters. So I am reading Watership Down by Richard Adams. None of the characters are human in this one. So that is the book that I'm going to be reading for that requirement. The next one is a funny book, and I'm going to use Bridget Jones's Diary by Helen Fielding. Always been meaning to read it, and so I will be reading that for that requirement. The next one is a book by a female author, and I had several different books that could have fulfilled that requirement, but I chose The Blind Assassin by Margaret Atwood. So that's the book that I'm going to read for a book by a female author. Then it says a book with a mystery. And so I am going to be reading The Ape Who Guards the Balance by Elizabeth Peters. She's a detective fiction author that I've always wanted to check out, and I have never gotten a chance to read her book, so I'm going to read this one. A book with a one-word title. Again, this is another book where I had several books that fulfilled the requirement, but I chose this one. It is Deception by Philip Roth. I have never read a book by Philip Roth. I own several books by Philip Roth, but I've never read them. I keep buying them with the idea in my head that if I buy a book by him, I eventually have to read it. So finally, I might get a chance to actually read a book by Philip Roth. So this is the one that I'm choosing. The next one is a book of short stories. I have The Interpreter of Maladies by Juniper Lahiri. I love The Namesake. It's one of my ultimate favorite books, and I've been meaning to read some of her other works. So this one is here for that. Then I need a book set on a different continent from the one that I live on. I live in North America, live in the US. So I am reading Cry the Beloved Country by Alan Paton. It is set in South Africa. So that is my book for that. Then I have to read a book of nonfiction. I'm going to read Angela's Ashes by Frank McCourt. It's a classic memoir that I have never read before and have owned for a while, so I'm going to do that. Then it says a first book by a favorite author. I am reading Gloria Naylor's The Women of Brewster's Place. I have, when it said pick a book by a favorite author, I had read most of the first books of all of my favorite authors. I just got into Gloria Naylor last year. I read one book by her, and so I was interested in reading more of her. So this was one of her first novels, so I'm going to read this one. A book you heard about online. Again, this is a category that could have been 1,000,001 different books, but I'm going to choose Fingersmith by Sarah Waters, because when I bought this book in the bookstore, I bought it because I specifically remember people talking about it on BookTube. So this was a book that definitely was something I got because I heard about it online. So I posed this book here. Then it says a best-selling book. Again, like any book could have fulfilled that requirement from my shelf. But I chose The Passage by Justin Cronin. It's an older bestseller that I've been meaning to read for a long, long time. So this will get done, hopefully. A book based on a true story. I chose The Other Bowling Girl by Philippa Gregory. Seen the movie. Been wanting to check out a book by Philippa Gregory, so I decided why not go ahead and do this one. So I have that one there. Then I have a book at the bottom of your TBR pile. So I tried to pick the oldest book that I own that I have yet to read, and I came up with Spear by Michael Crichton. Never read a Michael Crichton book before. I've owned this book for years and years and years and years. It's been following me around and I've yet to pick it up. So maybe this year will be the year for it. A book your friend loves. Again, 1,000,001 different books could have came to that category, but I chose The Sound and the Fury by William Faulkner. So many of my friends love this book and have recommended this book, so I'm going to read this one. Then it says a book that scares you. For that, I picked Moby Dick by Herman Melville. I am scared to death of that book. I don't even own that book because every time I've thought about buying it, I realize that if I buy it, I'll have to read it, and I get so intimidated and scared by it that I just put it back. So I am going to read Moby Dick this year. Rincey Reads and Steve Reed's book, and Adultish Books too, I believe, are all going to be reading Moby Dick, I think sometime in the summer. So I think I might join them and get that little monkey off my back and get, because it's a book I really do want to read. I'm just super scared of it. It's so big. But anyways, the next category is a book that is more than 10 years old. Anything could have fulfilled that requirement, but I went ahead and I chose The Iceman Cometh by Eugene O'Neill. I didn't have a play on my list, so this is a play. I've seen A Long Day's Journey Into Night. I've seen a production of it, and it was great, so I'd like to read this book. That's play. So then it says the second book in a series. I don't own the second book of any series that I haven't already read, so I chose for that Scarlet by Marissa Meyer. I read Cinder last year, and so I'm going to want to read the next book in that one. And 9 times out of 10, I'm probably going to go ahead and buy it because I did like Cinder a lot. So that will be the book I fulfill for that square. And then the last square is a book with a blue cover, and I chose The Feast of Love by Charles Baxter. I heard him read in Prague. I went to Prague for part of my writing program. He was one of the visiting writers, and he did a reading of a book, not this one, but another one, and I really liked the sound of it, and I liked the sound of his writing, so I'm excited to check this out. So those are my books that I plan to read for the 2015 Bingo Challenge. And those, at least 20 of those books are books from my TBR pile. So if I read those, I'll get 20 books off my TBR pile. So let me know what books you plan on reading from your TBR pile from the year. If you have any, if there's any books that I mentioned that you've read before and you would recommend that I get to immediately, please let me know. And just let me know if you'll also be willing to participate in this bingo challenge. I'm participating in this bingo challenge. I'm also participating in this one here. It was found on Twitter, and it is it has 45 squares. I like for this, the All About Books challenge, I'm trying to fill the whole card. I'm not even going to try to fill the whole card for that one, but there's a lot of overlap between this one and that one, so I'll be able to fill some squares just by filling that one. I'm also going to participate in the Book Riot Read Harder challenge, which Rincey Reads turned into a bingo card. So I'm participating in 3 bingo challenges. I'm going to fulfill the square on this one and then maybe like 1 or 2 lines on the other 2. So if you want to participate in any of these bingo challenges, let me know if you're doing that below, because I like to keep track of people who's doing this, because I think this will be a whole lot of fun. So anyways, I hope to talk to you guys soon, and I hope you guys are having a great year so far. Bye.